Hello, everybody. It is I, you too cool, back again. And I want to say happy holidays since this is my first December video, or at least the first one I'm recording in December. I don't know if I have any videos scheduled for this month, but I want to say just happy holidays to everyone who's watching. Thank you for continuing to watch me, or thank you for just joining if you're new here. I appreciate it, because I just do these videos on the side. This isn't like my main job. So, always nice to have people appreciate what I do here. As you can see, I have a very interesting item in front of me. This is the Mattel Thomas Wooden Railway Duck. Now, I have a version of Duck already. The Ertl version from back in, I want to say 1994, maybe 1992. He was a very early Ertl release. Or at least, right, because they started in 1985, I think, but then, around Shine Time Stations when Duck came out. But, I'm moving to Thomas Wooden Railway collecting. It especially helps that I already had Oliver for quite a while, so it's nice to finally have Oliver and a version of Duck that's in scale, because, yeah, if I were to do professional YouTube work, I don't think this would do. Also, my Duck has had issues with the paint. A lot of issues, actually, so I don't think I'm going to get rid of this guy just yet, but if it ever comes down to it, I might keep this one. But I still appreciate this Duck. He's really cool. Ertl Duck is really awesome. Very good model of Duck. But so is this model. Because Duck had his original Wooden Railway model, and it was fine, serviceable for what it was at the time. But just one small problem. He was missing this piece. In case you don't know what this little black part is, that's his funnel. Yeah, so Duck, as well as Donald and Douglas, for some reason, all didn't have funnels, or at least it looked like they didn't have funnels. I think what happened is that because Duck, Donald, and Douglas have visible, safety valves, as well as their, standard dome and funnel, I think it was Roy Wilson who was still designing those items at the time. I don't know if Duck came out around the time, but I would assume so, right? Because, Donald Douglas came out in the Roy Wilson era, so that's, when he was handcrafting the items. So that was, 1992 to, 1994. So, Duck was probably designed to not have the funnel because, we already have two other pieces. Let's just, we don't need the funnel. But it just made Duck look really off proportionally. Then it was just kind of under detailed in general. Obviously, Wooden Railway isn't super detailed, but it just looked very plain. So this Mattel Duck is a very welcome upgrade. As you can see, we have his CGI face. I used to have a Take and Play Duck, I think. I know I definitely saw the Trackmaster at one point, but it was a close shave Duck, so that was just, it was the Mattel version where the shaving wasn't actually physical, it was just printed on. Kind of a shame, unfortunately. Duck over here has, of course, the GWR writing, these pieces, which actually should be inside the little crevice here, as you can see on my Ertl Duck. This item came used, so it has a couple of things, but I could probably wipe those off if I really wanted to. Something I want to note about this Duck is it has a really smooth, glossy finish, which is interesting because none of my other Mattel items really have that, besides maybe, let me check, does Salty have it? Okay, Salty does have the sort of smooth finish versus, say, Oliver, who's a little more matte. I don't think it's quite as glossy as the Learning Curve items were, but it is glossier than, most Mattel Wooden Railway items, so that is interesting. This version of Duck is actually quite rare. I was very lucky to get this one. And funny story, the reason I got this one is because Originally, I was going to get him with a coupon because it was the last day of the coupon. I really wanted to use it for something, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get Duck. He's a rare item, and one I definitely want to use because I'm very close to getting the rest of the Little Western. I say as I only have Oliver, but trust me, I'll get Toad and Donald and Douglas at some point. So decided to get the best version of Wooden Railway Duck, but coupon expired before then. And the seller was very gracious. I appreciate that seller for worked it out, and now I have Duck. My Duck seems to unfortunately have a bit of a wonky eye, but it's only really noticeable from sewing angles. I think if you're looking at him head on or like this, it's not that bad. Yeah, and so we got the GWR on the side, the handrails, back is undetailed, and the other side is the exact same. Duck, his real name is Montague, but everyone just calls him Duck, because it's a much better name. He has his nice eyebrows there. So, yeah, Duck is a really nice model, and I'm really happy that we have an updated Duck, because Donald Douglas, despite returning a couple years later in Sodor's Legend: The Lost Treasure, got no updated Wooden Railway models, which is a very big shame, because Donald and Douglas are characters that absolutely deserve new models. But I guess, sometimes you gotta live and learn. One last thing I want to point out about Duck is rather infamously, people say he should have been in the Steam team instead of Emily. Yeah, so just kind of showing him and Emily next to each other. A lot of people use Duck in place of Emily, which honestly I don't really get, because I think Emily is a good character. I think it's just a lot of people don't really like, because Emily's kind of hard to work with, because some of her character traits are similar to Edward, some of her characteristics are similar to like James. And so yeah, a lot of people struggle to really write stories about Emily specifically, so they latch onto a character with a bit more of a defined personality, like Duck here, because Duck is, definitively a guy who's always like, there are two ways of doing things: Great Western way, wrong way. Bring me the head of Tobias. And then Oliver's just like, I'm the arcane merchant. Oh, I never showed you guys, but my Oliver was actually updated by me. I customized him a little bit, because see, he had these burn marks. So all of his wheels used to be the same color as the back wheel, but I had some green paint, and I thought it'd be cool to paint these two to, sort of reflect Oliver's larger drive wheels, because, he has two big drive wheels and then trailing wheels, but Wooden Railway only does like two sizes of wheels, medium and large. There are no small Wooden Railway wheels, so that's how I did Oliver. So it's just really cool seeing these two next to each other. Again, I hope everyone has a happy holiday. Whatever holiday you celebrate. It's all cool with me, man. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the review, and I shall see you all around. Bye-bye! Wait, hold on, this video is 8 minutes. Doc appears for 8 seconds, and all engines go, "It's a conspiracy, man!"